Good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily here on the Audacity Network. I am your host, Pearl, and today, boy, do we have the show for you. But before we start, guys, go to theaudacitynetwork.com. That's theaudacitynetwork.com. Or you can type that into the apps, both app stores, the Audacity Network. And you'll get all of the content I had to delete off of YouTube. You also get unlimited super chats on the website if you have a chat you want read today. Discussing this topic, just go to the website and say it there. On top of that, we are going to be having premium content talking about how to be a YouTuber. And also next month, we're having on smart, intelligent, non-famous men that I know and that are a part of my network that I've built up the last 5 years being in this industry. So knowing that, guys, we are going to raise the price on the memberships fairly soon. I'm giving you guys a heads up. Sign up now. In a couple of days, we're going to raise the price. So do it now before we do, and you're going to be in it for life. Okay, so let's get to the topic today. So here on Pearl Daily, I would argue that women are more violent than men in 2025. Why? Number one, because 1 out of 3 has committed murder, which if you're a Christian, you believe that abortion is murder, and women do that like no problem. They do that every other day. But more than that, women are empowered to be like men. They want to talk like men, walk like men, and put hands on people like men, while society still refuses to hold them accountable. The lack of accountability has emboldened generations of women to get violent, especially when dealing with other women. I mean, guys, I have never been afraid to be attacked by a man. And I have put on controversial signs in downtown London in not even the most safe areas and had men and women yell at me. And do you know who I was afraid was going to throw hands? Women. Women. Now, this attitude starts when women are young. If you look at the news, you're going to find story after story after story of young women fighting each other. Fights in female sports have increased drastically in the past decade. Young girls have gotten into fights and that have cost their whole team a victory or a season. Mothers can be heard encouraging their daughters to physically attack another girl because of a foul or perceived issue on the court. That's what we're going to talk about on today's show, violence in women's sports. Now, there's a story in the news of a female high school track runner that was running a relay race. Now, one of the girls on the other team decided to hit her over the head with a baton while the girl was trying to pass her. So we're gonna play this video.
To an attack.
Okay, here we go.
During a high school track and field relay race, one runner hit another in the head with a baton. Janae Norman here with the story. Good morning, Janae.
Hey, George, this is a crazy video that you have to see. It's unimaginable, unsportsmanlike conduct on the track. This morning, a high school track star is still recovering nearly a week after being hit on the head by another runner during a race.
Junior Kaylin Tucker was running the second leg of the 4x200 relay in the Virginia State High School League Championships when the shocking incident happened.
That's when she hit me with the baton.
Watch again as you see the two sprinters running side by side as they round the corner with Kaylin on the outside, Kaylin's mother cheering her on. Just as Kaylin is passing the other runner, the athlete swings her baton, striking Kaylin.
She was about to go for it too. She was about to go for she looked like she was going to pass even the first one.
I just felt a bang on my head and then I fell off the track immediately.
And she seems so sweet. Like, she just seems like a sweet young high school girl.
Kaylin dropping her baton and reaching for her head.
The whole Coliseum pretty much gasped. I just jumped up out of the bleachers immediately and ran to her on the main floor.
The 16-year-old was later diagnosed with a concussion. The family says neither the athlete who struck Kaylin nor the other team's coaches checked on Kaylin or reached out afterwards.
To see that they kept running and she not stop and check on my daughter. That was the part where I was like, it couldn't have been an accident.
The other runner, who attends IC Norcom High School, has not been named. Kaylin's parents say Norcom's athletic director and the girl's father apologized in a phone call, but they're still waiting for the opposing athlete and her coaches to reach out.
We definitely want the coaches and a personal apology from the actual athlete as well, because it's only, it's only right.
The Virginia High School.
Two parents. They're respectful. A nice, respectful daughter. She's not getting all up in arms. She's just saying, "Hey, I was hit in the back of the head here."
School league saying in a statement,
it's always like the nice girl, and then some ghetto chick just goes off on her. It's like, this was a nice, sweet young woman. And then this, of course.
We thoroughly review every instance like this, adding the VHSL membership has always made it a priority to provide student athletes with a safe environment for competition.
Meanwhile, Kaylin's parents say that they're still waiting to see what disciplinary actions will be taken against the other athlete before deciding their next steps. In the meantime, guys, because Kaylin's been recovering for a week, they're hoping that she can finally return to school today.
Oh,
because she's been out recovering.
Yeah, exactly. We're glad she's okay.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Crazy. Okay, so now what made this story so incredible was not only did she hit another girl in the back of the head, all because she was about to lose a race. She also is gaslighting us and saying she didn't do it. So did this runner that hit the girl take any accountability for her actions?
Tonight,
let's look at her response.
a Portsmouth family says they're telling their side of the story in reference to a shocking incident at a Virginia High School League indoor track meet that left one athlete allegedly injured after she claimed she was struck by a baton held by IC Norcom High School senior Alayla Everett. Everett spoke exclusively to 10 on Your Side's Markeisha Jackson, who brings us much more.
The young athlete in question says there's more to that video than meets the eye.
Everybody has feelings. So you're physically hurt, but you're not thinking of my mental, right?
So she said, I'm going to repeat. So she hits another woman in the back of the head. That's what she does. This young girl is sprinting away and she gets beat up, gets a concussion for a week. And she says, yeah, you're hurt, but I'm mentally hurt because I hit you and people are mad at me.
Alayla Everett is a decorated athlete and senior at IC Norcom High School. She would have never thought her trip to the Class 3 track and field state finals last Tuesday would take a drastic turn.
They're going off of one angle.
What does she mean that she didn't think it would take a drastic turn? She took her arm up, beat the girl, and then said, how did this happen? I have no idea. Why are they reporting the story like this? She had no idea that this would take a drastic turn. What did you think would happen when you beat someone else up? Do you know what that's like? That's like me divorcing my husband. That's like me cheating, right? Imagine. I cheat on my husband with like 10 different dudes. And then I say, I don't know how this happened. I don't know how I got caught. And the news is like, she didn't know. It just that her life would take a drastic turn and she would get her divorce. I mean, that like the way they reported that was just stupid. But I guess I'll hear this woman out. Maybe there's something I'm missing. I don't know.
She would have never thought her trip to the Class 3 track and field state finals last Tuesday would take a drastic turn.
I had to hear it again because it was so stupid. the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
They're going off of one angle.
Alayla visibly emotional because of this video from the meet. This was a 4x200 meter relay race, and she and a Brookville High School athlete were rounding a curve on the track when they nearly collided.
She said they just saw one angle. And okay, that's like the equivalent of this is a guy that stabbed another guy or like shot another guy. And they're like, hey, we just saw one angle of the footage. They can't throw me in jail. And then it's like the footage is him pulling the trigger.
Collided with each other.
Okay, after a couple times hitting her, my baton got stuck behind her back like this, and it rolled up her back. I lost my balance, and when I pumped my arms again, she got hit.
It appears intentional, but Alayla says it was accidental.
But I know my intentions.
I don't think you do know your intention. Like, I think women sometimes convince ourselves of a lie. I think at this point, she's repeated it so many times. I don't think you know your intentions, okay?
I would never hit somebody on purpose.
Again, can we just see the male equivalent of it? Like when men go to court, right? They kind of just eat the L most of the time. And, you know, I saw a writing from like the 1900s complaining about the same thing, how it was like a court reporter. And he was reporting on how when women got charged with a crime, they would deny it, even if all the evidence clearly showed that they did it. Where the men would kind of say, yeah, I did it, you know. And so now she's saying that she didn't do it. Sorry, the equivalent of this for a guy, again, is saying, I know my intentions when they shoot a guy in the face, let's say. So imagine he's crying in court and saying, I didn't do it. I know my intentions. And then the judge says, this is a video of you doing the crime. And he says, well, but I know my intentions. I would never do that intentionally. And they say, yeah. Okay, let me go back.
It was accidental.
But I know my intentions, and I would never hit somebody on purpose. I didn't have to see your first video, second video, 10th video. I know 100% that she won't do this to nobody.
This is terrible parenting. Yeah, this is how you guys raise monsters. Some of your daughters, can I just say, some of you guys have raised monster daughters, and it's your fault. You really have, because you guys believe women. I mean, didn't you guys, when you were like 12, notice that women just lie about everything? So this dad, I mean, he's got to be a super simp. I mean, this is insane. 2 parents in the home, and she's doing this BS. It's probably because they just give her whatever she wants, you know?
Her parents outraged at the backlash. The IC Norcom relay team was disqualified, a ruling that a local USA track and field official finds questionable. He says a play-by-play look shows that the Brookville athlete was running closely to Alayla.
If a person...
Like, okay, you know when you're running, it's this, right? This is the motion. I play volleyball, I play basketball. There is no reason to do this. It's this. It's not this. Like,
comes up on the outside, they got to be a full stride ahead of me before they can cut in front of me.
The other family spoke with the news station in Roanoke asking for an apology from Alayla, something she wants to give, but she
said... Did she do it twice? Oh my gosh.
The other athlete hasn't been receptive, blocking her on social media, and instead the Everett family was served with court papers.
Okay, let me get this straight. Now they're playing the victim because she blocked her on social media. So you're, again... Gen Z, you know what? An apology is a few things. Number one, if you did it publicly, if you embarrassed someone publicly, you have to apologize publicly. That's the rule. It's not let's do this in the DMs and make it go away. It's I did this publicly. I need to apologize publicly.
And now we have to go to a city 3 hours away that everybody hates our guts.
So your daughter could have given another girl brain damage. I mean, we all know if you hit someone in the back of the head the wrong way, that can go really south. She had a concussion for a week. And now you're mad because you have to drive 3 hours and people don't like you. Okay.
Us already.
They're assuming my character, calling me ghetto, racist slurs.
It says that girl had Tourette's syndrome. Her arm acted on its own. It was a tick. Guys, stop white knighting. Stop it. Let's see if anyone. One night, my brother's ex-wife mouthed off to a big group of young males. Who do you think got their ass kicked? Fazelle, she might be too young to call her a bitch. No, I think this is warranted. I blame the effing parents. Kids don't do what we tell them to do. They do what they see us do. Doug MPA, it doesn't matter how tough these women act. They will all resort to crying when the going gets tough. Yes, start crying if you are losing. I learned that from that lie from my mother. My dad never lied to me. They don't.
Death threats, all of this just because of a 9-second video.
VHS.
Okay, see, she's wrong there. You got death threats because you assaulted somebody. It was not the video. I've put out a lot of 9-second videos in my career. I mean, more than I can really count. And the only time I got death threats is when I pissed off a community that I'm not going to talk about because they scare me. You guys scare me. You win. But in general, you're not going to get death threats from a normal 9-second video.
SL says they are still reviewing the situation, and Portsmouth Public Schools says they will support whatever ruling comes from the league. Markeisha Jackson, 10 on your side.
I don't understand why they need an investigation. Why isn't this just case closed? Like, there is a video of her assaulting another woman. Yes, she decided to cry. But you know, it is what it is. It's time. So I wanted to give this woman some advice. You know, maybe she's watching my show. I'll help her out. This is a way bigger deal. For example, I'm a commentator. I'm commenting on this because of the way that you reacted, young lady. It made it even more outrageous. Had you just said, look, like if you came out and you said, hey, I saw her passing me. I got upset. I thought she was running too close and I just lost my temper and I hit her. And I wish I didn't do it and I'm sorry. And actually, you know, I wouldn't even add in the why you did it. Take that out. Hey, I lost my temper. I lost my temper. I hit her in the back of the head. So you acknowledge what you did. Then you say, I'm sorry. And you list all of the people that you hurt. I'm sorry to her. I'm sorry to her family. I'm sorry to the community. I'm sorry to this, that. You list everyone. All of the people that you affected. Okay? And then you talk about penance. I am choosing to step down from the track team. So don't even let them kick you off. Say, you know what? I have embarrassed my community so bad that I'm going to step down from track. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. I would like to extend an apology to the girl. I'd like to make it right. So then we got to brainstorm. We can put it in the chat ways that she can make it right. But I didn't do it. Could work if there wasn't a video of you doing it. Gaslighting does work. I'm not going to pretend like gaslighting, like women can't gaslight people and that work. I mean, gaslighting is a very powerful tool. But it only works if there's no evidence of what happened. So now we got to switch the strategy. Now, I wanted to give you an example, and you guys let me know in the chat, what would you say that she should do to make it right? If you were advising her and this was your daughter, personally, if this was my sister or I had a daughter and this was, I would pull her, it might be time to beat the kid. I'm not for beating children, but in this case, it might be time to, please don't hate speech me for inciting violence. Please don't do that, YouTube. I'm not saying to do it. This is satire. Haha. It's total satire. But it might be time to beat the kid. I mean, this is the time. Like, did you guys remember a couple of years ago when that young boy was like protesting at the BLM and like doing some BS, and the mom came out and like dragged the kid home and it went viral because it was like they were looting or doing whatever, and the mom was like, not on my watch. She drags that kid home and is like hitting him, and everyone praised this mother as a hero versus these parents who are engaging also in the gaslighting. She coiled torso and chamber that punch. Phil says, Steve M, the dad is the ultimate simp because he wasn't telling her she was wrong. Yeah, the husband is in a no-win situation. If not, a knife in that back awaits. Well, I mean, at this point, you might as well let her take the kid. I mean, it's a shitty kid, right? So if the wife like leaves and takes the kid, I mean, it's a shitty kid anyway. He can go, like, he shouldn't be afraid of this situation because, I mean, the wife is kind of overweight. The kid's shitty. He can just go date younger. I mean, you guys forget that there's a new girl turning 22 every day. Why don't men remember this? Like, these women, the 22-year-olds are having sex with like 4 different dudes and you could be one of them. I mean, yeah, it's kind of gross. Yeah, they're going to leave you. They're not going to want to settle down with you, but that's a win for you. You don't need a second wife. You just want hot new ass. Like what? Sometimes the guys will talk like women. They're like they want someone to settle down. I'm like, why? You're getting like a win-win. What do you need that? You're not responsible. You get the sex and no responsibility for this girl. And you're saying, why can't I be responsible for it? Okay, yeah, I'm not going to give you that the dad has to be a super simp. Doug MPA says the smoke detector beeping is the icing on the cake. Doug MPA says it doesn't. Oh, wait, I read that already. My children know I'm willing to smack them and I never have to do it. Okay, now I'm going to show you guys the art of a good apology. Please, I need to know in the chat. I'm going to look in the YouTube chat. If any of you guys have what you would say for her to do to make the situation right, that would be really interesting. They said to start an OnlyFans. God damn it, guys. Oh, and you're totally right. She'd make a killing. I hate 2025. Here we go. So this is Tiger Woods. I'm going to be watching for what you guys say in the chat.
Good morning, and thank you for joining me. Many of you in this room are my friends.
So I'd like to know, he has a somber face. This is showing that he is serious about this apology. Now, I get into trouble for this because I'm just a natural smiler. But you can't have a conversation about a serious topic. Like, they will not believe that you're sorry if you're saying, like, if he came in with a smile on his face and said, well, da-da-da-da-da, you know, it wouldn't work. But he's coming in somber. This is communicating. I know this is serious.
Many in this room know me. Many of you have cheered for me, or you worked with me, or you supported me. Now, every one of you has good reason to be critical of me.
So he doesn't say, he says, you have good reason to be critical of me. He doesn't say, because remember, this is Tiger Woods' cheating apology. He doesn't say this was none of your business. He doesn't say, there's hot ass in every city. And you guys don't even know what it's like to get this much hot ass. The hottest women, he could have said, the hottest women in the country try to sleep with me, you beta males. You don't know what that's like, working your desk job. How dare you? How dare you criticize me? He could have said that and it would have been true, but he didn't. He said, you are right to be critical of me. He knows that these men don't know what it's like. Do you guys know what it's like in the chat to have women hunt you down trying to get you to cheat? Anyways, yeah, they said, no. I know, I mean, he said, no, I was wrong.
I want to say to each of you simply and directly, I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in. I know people want to find out how I could be so selfish and so foolish. People want to know how I could have done these things to my wife, Elin, and to my children. And while I have always tried to be a private person, there are some things I want to say.
I would like to say there were Facebook groups of all the women that he slept with. They made like Facebook, like full-on Facebook groups. There were so many. But see, he's continuing it. He's saying, I know you guys are wondering how I could do something so selfish. Now, he's not saying, all the freaking athletes cheat. You know we cheat. We have girls in every city. You know this. These women know what my wife knew. Get out of my business. He could have said that. No, he said no. I know you guys are wondering how I could be so selfish. He's saying what everyone else is thinking. He's saying, yep, I'm selfish.
Elin and I have started the process of discussing the damage caused by my behavior. As Elin pointed out to me, my real apology to her will not come in the form of words. It will come from my behavior over time.
That is the most beautiful line I've ever heard. So he's acknowledging that this is just words. My behavior is what is going to be the change going forward. That is a line that woman should add into her apology speech. That is a beautiful line. That is beautiful.
We have a lot to discuss. And however, what we say to each other will remain between the two of us. I am also aware of the pain my behavior has caused to those of you in this room. I have let you down. I have let down my fans. For many of you, especially my friends, my behavior has been a personal disappointment. To those of you who work for me, I have let you down personally and professionally. My behavior has caused considerable worry to my business partners. To everyone involved in my foundation, including my staff, board of directors, sponsors, and most importantly, the young students we reach, our work is more important than ever. 13 years ago, my dad and I envisioned helping young people achieve their dreams through education. This work remains unchanged and will continue to grow. From the Learning Center students in Southern California to the Earlwood Scholars in Washington, D.C., millions of kids have changed their lives, and I am dedicated to making sure that continues.
That was a subtle, I do charity, okay? I'm not a terrible person. But the way he phrased it is saying, look, keep my charity out of this. But really, that's a subtle, I do charity, okay? I do just remember I give back to the community.
But still, I know I have bitterly disappointed all of you. I have made you question who I am and how I could have done the things I did. I'm embarrassed that I have put you in this position. For all that I have done, I am so sorry. I have a lot to atone for, but there's one issue I really want to discuss. Some people have speculated that Elin somehow hurt or attacked me on Thanksgiving night. It angers me that people would fabricate a story like that. Elin never hit me that night or any other night.
She totally hit him that night. Like, can we just... So this is even smarter. He's taking the fall for his wife. I mean, there was a car driven into a tree. Okay. I can't even remember what happened exactly, but it was pretty clear that she did hit. I think what I heard happened was she found him cheating, right? And then like she found messages that he was going to leave her for the side chick. Now I bet he was just talking trash. You got to tell the side chick that, you know what I mean? But, you know, that sent her into oblivion. Then she was attacking him. Then they crashed into the tree, whatever. But he's saying, no, she didn't do it because he knows his wife has enough dirt to take him down, like to destroy him. And women are fueled by their reputation. So he's publicly saying, no, my wife is an angel. And they're like, didn't you have bruises? No. She's an angel. She's perfect. That's what you guys got to think about. How can if you want to get out of a situation with a woman, you got to think about how can you be the villain? This is smart. He's got to be the villain so she doesn't ruin his life even further.
There has never been an episode of domestic violence in our marriage. Ever.
There was definitely instances of domestic violence in their marriage. I just don't see like people that haven't had instances having to like say that. You know what I mean? But you gotta, they said the side chick needs affirmation sometime. That's true. That's true.
Elin has shown enormous grace and poise throughout this ordeal. Elin deserves praise, not blame.
I actually do agree. She could have did a whole podcast tour and wrote a book about this. As far as I know, she hasn't done that. I don't think she ever said a bad word about him publicly. And that takes a lot for women, I'll tell you what.
The issue involved here was my repeated irresponsible behavior. I was unfaithful. I had affairs. I cheated. What I did is not acceptable. And I am the only person to blame. I stopped living by the core values that I was taught to believe in. I knew my actions were wrong, but I convinced myself that normal rules didn't apply. I never thought about who I was hurting. Instead, I thought only about myself. I ran straight through the boundaries that a married couple should live by. I thought I could get away with whatever I wanted to. I felt that I had worked hard my entire life and deserved to enjoy all the temptations around me. I felt I was entitled. Thanks to money and fame, I didn't have to go far to find them. I was wrong. I was foolish. I don't get to play by different rules. The same boundaries that apply to everyone apply to me.
So now he's saying where he was wrong in his thought process. That's beautiful. So he was able to explain his thought process. So, you know, because you hear this and you're like, well, I can kind of see where he's coming from. He did work really hard. And he says, no. But that was the wrong thinking. He just found a way to explain himself without explaining himself and saying, no, I was selfish.
I brought this shame on myself. I hurt my wife, my kids, my mother, my wife.
Oh, I don't know why that's so funny. Look at the mom. She's not even mad. She knew he'd been cheating. Come on. But she's just mad he got caught.
Wife's family, my friends, my foundation, and kids all around the world who admired me. I've had a lot of time to think about what I've done. My failures have made me look at myself in a way I never wanted to before. It's now up to me to make amends, and that starts by never repeating the mistakes I've made. It's up to me to start living a life of integrity. I once heard, and I believe it's true, it's not what you achieve in life that matters, it's what you overcome. Achievements on the golf course are only part of setting an example. Character and decency are what really count. Parents used to point to me as a role model for their kids. I owe all those families a special apology. I want to say to them that I am truly sorry. It's hard to admit that I need help, but I do. For 45 days, from the end of December to early February, I was in inpatient therapy, receiving guidance for the issues I'm facing.
Yeah, and so this is the penance, right? Now, obviously, he's going to cheat forever. I mean, he's just going to get lawyers, NDAs, and escorts, right? He's going to cheat smarter in the future. But the penance is a good thing. Like, so in her case, maybe she does 300 hours of community service to help the community because that she embarrassed, right? So, we like to see people make amends for what they did. So in the case of this woman who hit the girl in the back of the head, I'd really like some creative ways to... I'm thinking maybe some community service she could do. Maybe some humiliation rituals of like going to schools and telling people why she was wrong. Anyone's got anything else in the chat? Anyone, please put it in the chat.
I have a long way to go, but I've taken my first steps in the right direction. As I proceed, I understand people have questions. I understand the press wants to ask me for the details of the times I was unfaithful. I understand people want to know whether Elin and I will remain together.
They did not. And Doug MPA says he had a comment on them splitting up. I gotta find it. Pearl, don't embarrass the simping mindset while Woods takes the blame. Oh, Pearl, read. This is Doug MPA's comment. Tiger's wife didn't want to leave him, but the public pressured her to do it. She's never said a bad word about him, not once. Yeah, she should have stuck it out. They would have been like a power couple by now. I mean, if you make it through that, could she really forgive him, though, is the question. We have a really hard time forgiving. So it's kind of easier for the men to go find a new girl that doesn't have all the things that she can like bring up from the past. So could she really let it go and stop bringing it up? Because we do this thing where we accept the apology, but then we like passive aggressively bring it up for a lifetime. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. He says never complain and never explain. He needed to get his bag. What? Let him. He's got to make money.
Please know that as far as I'm concerned, every one of these questions and answers is a matter between Elin and me. These are issues between a husband and a wife. Some people have made up things that never happened. They said I used performance-enhancing drugs. This is completely and utterly false.
I doubt it's false.
Some have written things about my family. Despite the damage I have done, I still believe it is right to shield my family from the public spotlight. They did not do these things. I did. I have always tried to maintain a private space for my wife and children. They have been kept separate from my sponsors, my commercial endorsements. When my children were born, we only released photographs so that the paparazzi could not chase them. However, my behavior doesn't make it right for the media to follow my 2.5-year-old daughter to school and report the school's location. They staked out my wife and they pursued my mom. Whatever my wrongdoings, for the sake of my family, please leave my wife and kids alone. I recognize I have brought this.
They said he was using Viagra.
This on myself. And I know, above all, I am the one who needs to change. I owe it to my family to become a better person. I owe it to those closest to me.
Did he humiliate himself to keep the commercial endorsements? Yes! Yeah! I mean, oh my... Obviously. Yes. You would too. How... You would do it for $1 million. Whatever the hell they were paying him, 50, 100. Yeah, you would go up there and do this humiliation ritual.
To become a better man. That's where my focus will be. I have a lot of work to do, and I tend to dedicate myself to doing it. Part of following this path, for me, is Buddhism, which my mother taught me at a young age. People probably don't realize it, but I was raised a Buddhist, and I actively practiced my faith from childhood until I drifted away from it in recent years.
That's good. Going back to the church. They'll take anyone. So yeah, you can definitely go back there. I would actually recommend that for the girl too. Church. Yeah, they love the born agains.
Buddhism teaches that a craving for things outside ourselves causes an unhappy and pointless search for security. It teaches me to stop following every impulse and to learn restraint. Obviously, I lost track of what I was taught. As I move forward, I will continue to receive help because I've learned that's how people really do change. Starting tomorrow, I will leave for more treatment and more therapy.
Yeah. Penance.
I would like to thank my friends at Accenture and the players in the field.
Yeah, she could add in some therapy. I'm recommending community service and therapy. Yeah, therapy equals more women. It's like they bring in a hot therapist. He's like, God damn it!
This week for understanding why I'm making these remarks today. In therapy, I've learned the importance of looking at my spiritual life and keeping in balance with my professional life. I need to regain my balance and be centered so I can say the things that are most important to me. My marriage and my children.
Yep, cooked. Anyways, so that's an example. Crazy lady who hit the other woman with a baton. There's an example. I would take some notes from that. And at the end, can you make a link for Doug MPA? I want to see I want him and Shiv to comment on what they'd recommend. So guys, at the end, I have a couple more clips I'm going to show, but I want you guys to marinate, think about what would you recommend for her? All right. Now there's another case of a high school basketball game where a girl was assaulted by another player and her mother told her to do it. Insane.
Over a sucker punch on the court during a girls' youth basketball game. Witnesses say the girl who threw the punch was actually encouraged to do so by her own mother.
The powerful punch was...
Do I have to say what everyone's thinking? I'm not going to say it.
It's caught on video, and the mother and daughter were tossed out of the game. KTLA's Kimberly Chang is live in Garden Grove with reaction from the mother of the girl who got punched. Kimberly.
Hi, the youth players in this game are part of a basketball club. This was supposed to be a fun game over the weekend, but turned violent. Now, this Orange County mom that we spoke with says her daughter returned from the game disoriented, and she knew that something went terribly wrong. Other teammates and parents filled her in and showed her this disturbing video. Video shows a 15-year-old girl being punched by a fellow player at a youth basketball game in Garden Grove.
The person in question went down the court and shot a three-pointer, landed, fell backwards into my daughter.
It's this audio on the video that has her disgusted and outraged. Listen.
As they got up and turned and were walking back down to the other side of the court, her mom says to her, "You need to hit her for that." And the child in question basically winds up and sucker punches my daughter.
See, it's always the soft-spoken, nice parents. Like the last set of parents was also like nice, kind-hearted, and just these evil kids. Who are you guys raising?
Alice Ham says her daughter was disoriented and not coherent after she was hit.
To me, it rises to the level of assault, the way that she does it with such intent and brutal force.
The incident happened Sunday at a basketball event hosted by AVAC United, which organizes games for members from around Southern California between the ages of 13 and 16.
We're very sorry that this is a very sad and unfortunate incident. We want everybody to feel safe. We want everybody to feel secure because this is an environment where kids should have fun and enjoy and be safe.
Ham has filed a police report and hopes that her daughter...
And nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. Young women can get away with murder and they'll get a slap on the wrist. I mean, who just came back on Twitter? That woman that murdered her baby and then came back on Twitter as like a domestic violence advocate. And I'm like, bitch, you're the attacker. Who are you advocating for? We should be advocating for the people in contact with you, Casey Anthony. That was her name.
Daughter will recover soon.
I hope that there's no fear for her to play again. I want people to see that this is not okay. It's not okay for parents to be verbally abusive, to incite violence.
Oh, it is hard to watch that video, Kimberly. What action has been taken since this happened?
Slap on the wrist.
Well, AVAC United says the girl and her parents have been banned from the program until further notice, and they'll cooperate if...
Until further notice? What about for life? Jesus Christ. Okay, now basketball is a manly sport, right? I mean, I was a bit of a tomboy, and I can say, like, there were lesbians on our basketball team. But now the cheerleaders are throwing hands. That's when you know it's bad, when the cheerleaders are hitting each other.
A knockdown fight in the middle of the basketball court. A cheerleading season canceled. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Ann Allred. Thank you for joining us. The East St. Louis cheerleading team is benched for their role in this fight. Our Jenna Barnes talked to the man who recorded the video and learned he's coming to the girls' defense.
That videographer tells me the cheerleading team should have been at tonight's girls' basketball game, but because of that brawl he captured, the team is suspended for the rest of the school year. At Saturday night's basketball game, the East St. Louis Flyers versus the Trinity Catholic Titans, the two cheerleading
Dang, Catholic school too.
teams performed dueling routines until those
It's not even a contact sport.
Cheers turned into chaos. The adults in the room were hardly able to break up the fight. Some of the students ended up on the ground. Behind the camera was Larry Duncan Allen.
This one video got more hits than all my games put together.
He shoots most East St. Louis games for his company, City of Champions TV. Thursday, the East St. Louis superintendent announced the rest of the cheerleader season is canceled, saying the team didn't meet the standard of safety set for students and athletes.
We expect our kids to behave better than we do.
Larry is coming to the girls' defense.
Oh my God. Why? Why do you white knight so
We
hard?
St. Louis, we just want to condemn our kids for any little wrong they do and forget
They were throwing hands.
about the good that they've done. These girls has carried themselves with class all year long.
Okay, so this is what he said. He's saying, well, they were classy the whole year. They just had one brawl. Guys, my high school, I think, had one fist fight in 4 years, and it was like 2 guys. This was not a normal thing. It was like, this was a big deal at the time.
And with one problem, they suspend the rest of their season.
We're also hearing from the Archdiocese of St. Louis in response to the Trinity team's behavior. They say they're confident school leadership is taking the steps necessary to make sure this never happens again. In East St. Louis, Jenna Barnes, 5 on your side.
They said Tiger Woods and Nala should do a therapy session together. Pearl, for the child that took the swing, community service and an apology on social media. Fazell, real men and high-performance men would never effing apologize. Why would they? Fazell, that is not true. Real men will do things for money. They'll look and they'll say, my pride, my ego, money. My pride, my ego, my reputation. I mean, Steve Harvey exists, right? He lies every day for money. They will. Whoever wrote this apology is a genius, and she's black. She's got infinity stones on her side, and even a lawsuit won't do shit. Okay, let's see. Oh, I read that. Watched it already. Okay, I'm gonna forward you the link, Doug MPA. And while I'm waiting, I'm going to read the super chats as well. It's in your email, so or not the super chats. I'm going to read the people that signed up this today. Guys, I know I've said this for like a week that I'm ending this, but I am soon. I'm filming some extra content on how to be a YouTuber and all of the secrets that I've learned over the years, how to get into contact with people, how to, we're going to give presentations for my best editor. All the smart, intelligent men that work here are going to give presentations on how they do what they do, how they got where they are. You can ask them questions directly. This is not going to be cheap, but it is right now. So if you sign up now, I'll honor it, but it's going up soon. Thank you, Muhammad. Thank you, Informalities, for signing up. Appreciate it. Matt, thank you. Mick Laughin, thank you. P. Damien, thank you. John, thank you. Chris, thank you. Another Chris, thank you. Rich, thank you. Ruben, thank you. NJ, thank you. CJ, thank you. Tim, thank you. And Touch, thank you. I really couldn't do what I do without you guys, so thank you so much. Seriously, your generosity amazes me every day, so I really appreciate it. And we have a pretty cool community on the website going. We're gonna do presentations once a week starting next month on how to make a lot of money in certain industries and just the intelligent, smart men that I know. You're even able to ask for requests, and I can bring in people to make more content on whatever you guys find to be interesting. So, okay, Doug MPA, thanks for being here.
Hey, how you doing?
We got Shiv here too. Oh, he's muted. If you want to unmute him. Doug MPA, I'll let you go first. What do you think about what should the penance be? If you were advising this girl that hit the girl in the back of the head, okay? What would you tell her? Would you say, like, what? Obviously, she's down bad. She's lied. Like, now you're giving her advice. She's saying, Doug MPA, what do I do? I lied. I hit this girl. What do I do now? What would you tell her?
So you had it right. She should have just said, look, I was caught up in the moment. It was the state finals, and I saw my opportunity literally running past me, and I lashed out. and I'd like to apologize. And if I could get in contact with the girl, I'd like to send her my sincerest apology, and that's it. But she's making it even worse by trying to deny it. She's making it even worse.
What would you tell her the penance should be?
So, okay, let's do two parts. I think her actual punishment, she should never be able to run track again.
Oh, that's a good one.
Ever. They should never let her on a track. Ever. And also she needs to have charges. You know, is it like a felony charge? No, but maybe like a misdemeanor. But she needs to have handcuffs put on her, and she needs to be processed. Know what that whole thing's about.
Now, what if they don't punish her like that, and you're advising her? So the world's not going to hold her accountable. Let's let that ship sail, right? So now she can't control that. So what would you tell her to offer the community as a penance? Like, so let's say they don't prosecute her. They say she's just out for the season, slap on the wrist. What would you tell her to do?
I would tell her to call. She needs to have a film crew record her apologizing to the girl and her family.
Okay.
They need to have it on tape.
Okay.
And then I'm trying to think what else she could possibly do. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they could have. I don't know, but that would be the biggest part. Would be
I would tell
a
her
public
to
apology that way.
I would tell her to quit track, to like walk away. Just say like, I have.
Okay, that's a good one.
I you know, like where they don't make her and she's just, you know, I've embarrassed you guys too much. I'm not going to step foot on the track again.
Do you think that she's going to be able to run track in college after this?
Yeah, I think they maybe will kick her off of high school, but I think they'll let her in college.
Isn't that sad? Can you imagine if a guy did that? He'd be in jail right now, and he'd never run again. And that's the thing, guys. I always say on my channel, life is never going to be fair for men. So when women are fighting for equality, all they're fighting for is for life, for women to be as unfair for them as it is for men. But it's going to take a long time. Men still get, what, isn't it 6 times the sentencing for the same crime, Pearl?
Yeah.
And 6 times worse of a punishment.
Yeah.
And so this girl is going to get off scot-free. So we're going to keep track and see what college she's going to run for.
Yeah.
And you think that she would be a little less humble, a little more humble, but it's her narcissism is reflected in her response. She's crying and she's like, I know she's hurting physically, but what about my mental?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Shiv, what do you think?
Oh my God. Whoever told her to do that response, like, that was crazy. What I would have said as an apology is I would say, I don't know what, everything I did was totally not okay. There's no words I can say to even justify that behavior. I'm so sorry. Everything I did was screwed up. I'm almost speechless. All I got to do now is figure out, I don't even know if there's anything I can do to forgive. I'll do everything in my power. I'm so sorry. And I pray for the girl to recover, and I will quit track and never get on a track field ever again. The second she adds any words to justify or to make it, or to be like, well, what happened was, no. Like, Tiger could have said a bunch of things. Like, you don't ever talk about the other side. It's just, I screwed up 100%. There's no way that I should be justified for this. This was awful. I'm going to have to do deep reflection with myself. There's nothing I can do to make up for this, but I will still do everything I can. The second you give anything less than that, it just comes across like you're doing it because you have to, in my opinion.
Would there be any more penance? Would you say the track quitting is enough, or would you add anything else?
I just think that for that girl, that's the big blow. I think for the girl who got hit, I think she would be satisfied with that because clearly, at least my reaction to that video, the reason why she did that was because she's realizing she's seen her track career disappear in front of her eyes. So I don't know if there's anything else. I even think if she went to jail for 30 days, the other girl wouldn't be that thrilled. I feel like losing track is like the big blow. Now, don't get me wrong. I think they should go handcuff her and put her in jail for like a night or something just to teach her like what men go through for the same thing. I think they should make an example out of this. But at a certain point, it's like, I think track's her dream, and killing the dream is more. I think you could put her in jail for 3 years. I think you're not allowed to do track is a way bigger blow.
Yeah, I agree. Like if I had to pick at 18, like if I had two choices and I had jail for 2 years or like quit volleyball, I think the volleyball would hurt more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would. Like if I had to pick one or the two, like never play volleyball again or 2 years in jail, I would pick the jail.
Yeah, because
or maybe it's because I don't know how bad jail is.
Well, but
maybe if I did it for a week, I'd change my mind.
But just the fact that those two things are even on the same option board, that's why I think taking away the track will hurt. Because every day you're practicing, you gain all this pressure. Everyone's wanting you to succeed, and having that dream die out. I think that's going to be painful enough.
Yeah, and she gets such an ego boost because I think she's pretty good. Like that's.
I would put her in jail just for the way she responded.
The only thing worse than being a the only thing worse than being a has-been is being a never was. You know what I'm saying? Like
so true.
You had an opportunity and you squandered it before you could even start. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's way worse. Because like even Amber Heard at least still got to star in like whatever Aquaman or whatever movie she was in. Like, like you still had a highlight reel. Like for this girl, like she hasn't even got a chance to like succeed. And yeah, I agree with that. Well said.
Would you say Tanya Harding? What happened to her?
She was the one that hit Nancy Kerrigan on the knee.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you think that
she
her
got a movie?
response?
She got a movie made after her.
How do you think?
I hate it here. Sorry, go ahead.
How do you think her response, the girl that hit the other girl, reflects on her parenting and her parents?
Oh, it's all her parents. I mean, it reflects. I do think there is a certain age, I would say around like 12-ish, where kids can make their own decisions, right? And to some extent, there's only so much parents can do. Being in a big family, you see how different kids are in the family. And there is sometimes when a kid wants to do a bad thing and they're just a wild kid, the parents do everything right. They just can't stop it. This was not that case. I mean, it would have been one thing had she done that. And like I said earlier in the show, the parents are dragging her off they're dragging her off of the court saying, I didn't raise you like this, punishing her even publicly, similar to that guy a couple of years ago that was at the Black Lives Matter protest and his mom came out and just dragged him home.
Dragged him by the ear.
Yeah. In that case, you would say, well, sometimes, the boy gets in the wrong crowd or the girl gets around the wrong group of girls and you can't, there's only so much you can do. You can't control everything. Sometimes good parents have a kid that's just a little off. I mean, you'll see brothers where one is like a high performer and the other is just a loser. Like, you're not in control of everything. However, in this case, it was completely the parents' fault because they're not telling her she's wrong. They're like backing up what she's saying and further complaining that they even have to go to court over this. What they should be doing is yelling at the kids saying, how dare you do this? They should be punishing her. They should be making her apologize. Like, they should make this a fucking humiliation ritual for her. You know what I mean? But they're backing her up instead.
That's what makes this crazy is like every part of it is wrong. It's like when she even hit the girl with the baton, like if she hit her once and then went, what did I do?
Yeah.
Like, no, she just kept going with no remorse. Then and then she has the audacity, this girl, to say, but it was just one angle. There's like 8 different angles. We saw that. Like, it wasn't even one angle. Like, it was like the back side. It was like from the front. It was from the like wide. But you had like 8 cameras looking at her from like 7 different times. And it's clear as day in like 8K resolution, 120 FPS. Then you have the parents who, instead of going, I'm so disgusted at my daughter, not only are we going to punish her to the fullest extent as parents as we can do, I want to make sure I talk to the other parents of the victim and obviously, if they want to take us to court, that makes sense, but we want to do what we can. No, the parents were just like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Like, every part of this is so bad. That's why I almost feel like they should just throw her in jail, and the parents in jail too for like a week, for like how there's no accountability across the board in this family. My God. And then that dad looked defeated. That dad looked like
he's just done.
Yeah, like he's
like my daughter's shit, my wife's shit, my life. Now I'm embarrassed.
Homeboy's like a week away from jumping off a cliff.
Yeah.
If you're talking about parenting, I'm telling you, that's a B-dub mother-led household. Because I guarantee you, her mom acts just like that, and the dad's a simp. And hey, guys, I am black. Doug and Pierre's been black in this country for over 40 years. There's a lot of black dudes married to black women that are just simps, dude, and just let the wife do whatever she wants, and that's how they get to turn out just like that.
This is a very diverse panel, actually.
Bro, I sent you a link.
It's like we got someone to represent everyone. Yeah, go.
And what it is so some rapper or somebody got gunned down in the streets, and this girl was mocking all the people and so they said that they're going to come after her, and the mom saw the response and got on her and was literally yelling at her and making her apologize because what she was doing was putting the family in danger.
I mean, I've seen mothers get the sons to snitch on a gang.
The
parents have sway in these situations. Like, have you seen that video where the son doesn't want to snitch, and then the mom starts yelling at him?
Yeah. So click on that Instagram.
Where did you send it to?
It's in the chat on Zoom.
I can't access. Can you access? Can you show it there or no? Okay. Let's see.
So this guy, he's some kind of rapper or something. He's getting gunned down, and this girl's mocking everybody and stirring up a stir, and they're threatening this girl and her family. And the mom finds out and makes her apologize on Instagram.
Oh, wait, let me see. I can't hear it. Doug, can you text it to me so I can play it on my laptop?
Yeah, hold on.
Okay. Unless it's gonna go, but
you're not no fucking gangster.
Oh shit.
You're a little girl balled up in the fucking corner. Apologize now. Put your hands the fuck down. Apologize now. You what? You sorry to who? To whoever I offended. You sorry? No, say you sorry to that fucking boy and his family right the fuck now. To him and his family. At the end of the day, you ain't no fucking gangster. That shit not thorough. People is dying. And you out here disrespecting that fucking man. You think it's fucking cool? It's fucking not cool. And you ain't the fuck like that. Fuck is wrong with you? Now, man.
W mom.
Yeah. I want to see if I can find the one of the. Hold on. Go ahead, Doug.
Yeah, but once again, this guy got gunned down, and she was on social media and just mocking him and reaching out to the people that cared about the guy, some of his crew or whatever, and was making fun of him and stuff, and they were threatening her life and their family's life, and the mom found out and was like, no, you better apologize. You ain't bringing that stuff over to my house.
Here's another one I'm gonna show. So this is from the Baltimore riots a couple years ago. Wait, can you share my screen? Okay, wait, you can put it on the TV.
Oh yeah, this is where the mother pulls him by the.
This is video that a lot of people are talking about this morning. It is believed this woman is the mother of the young man that she was slapping. You can see that she caught her son rioting yesterday, and dragged him away. Baltimore police had asked parents to find their children involved in the violence and take them home.
Dude, give her a Nobel Peace Prize. Mom of the Year.
So funny. Wait, here's her talking about it.
And the New York Post says, send in the moms to tame the Baltimore riot. More than 2 million people viewed her response to the joins us only on CBS this morning. Good morning to you, Ms. Toya Graham.
Good morning.
So
Good morning.
Here's a front page of the paper this morning. It says, forget the National Guard, send in the moms. They're calling you hero mom. Do you feel like a hero mom this morning?
I don't.
Can you imagine how embarrassed the son is? Not only did he get dragged like in front of all his friends,
Yeah, but
he gets on national news, and the mom gets on national. Sorry,
but hey, you know what? At least she pulled him away from a harmful situation.
No,
better
I
than him
know.
getting locked up or getting freaking taken out or something.
I totally agree. I just think he learned his lesson.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just imagining this humiliation for him. He learned his lesson.
Yeah.
He's never going back to a riot again.
Because what was your intention?
My intention was just to get my son and have him be safe.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I knew that was, that whole thing was not safe. It wasn't safe at all.
Let's go back to that morning because you had told him, do not go down to the protests.
Yes. He told me the night before that, everybody was supposed to meet up at Mondawmin Mall. And I said to him, Michael, go to school. Don't go to Mondawmin.
But you knew?
But, me and my oldest daughter, I had a doctor's appointment. Mm-hmm. And we started getting phone calls that they was letting the schools out early, that they were shutting down Mondawmin. And she was like, Mom, we have to go.
Wow.
You have to leave the doctors off. We have to go. And so to get there and see the mass of polices and the helicopters and, I actually ran over to the police and I said, where are the children that have to take this bus route here?
But tell us when you first saw your son, Toya. Take us there.
So after speaking with the police officer, and he pointed across the street from Mondawmin Mall, I stood there on the same side as the police with the shields, and they were throwing bricks. And I was like in an awe, like it was like, oh my God. And to see my son come across the street with a rock in his hand, I think at that point I just lost it.
You recognized the baggy sweatpants.
I recognized the baggy sweatpants. He did have the hoodie on and he did have the face mask on, but it was something about those sweatpants he had on.
And you also made eye contact.
And we made eye contact.
Mm-hmm. And
What's remarkable is this, and for me, is he clearly had respect and fear of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Because as you were pushing him and doing that sort of right hook you had, he was backing off. I mean, what was he saying to you?
Mom, 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 okay, Mom, okay, Mom. And I was pretty much just telling him, how dare you do this? I actually went to view Freddie Gray's funeral, body, and if he wanted to do that, I would allow him to. Even if he wanted to stay home from school to go to the funeral, I would allow him to do that. But for him to do what he was doing, it was just unacceptable.
You said, I thought so poignantly, you did not want to lose your son to the streets.
No. And I fight with this, not just because of this incident. I find myself shielding my son on a lot of different incidents where these young kids are out here shooting each other, and a lot of his friends have been killed. And so my thing is, I just want to keep him in the house. And I know that's not going to, he's going to get out. He's going to.
That's not really, that's not really.
Yeah. But so if the parents came out and did that, that would have been a different situation where you might think, okay, there's just some things outside of the kid, like the parents' control. Like you can't really, like if you can't afford private school, you can't control what school your kids go to. If you work, you don't have the time to homeschool.
But I give this mom credit. Like that was also level-headed. She didn't get on the show and try to like boss up or something. She was just like, I was afraid for his safety, blah, blah, blah. So like you could tell the differences. It really boils down a lot of times to the parents of how they react. Like you said, you can't control kids. Part of it's genetic. You can have two brothers from the same family. One's a high achiever, one's a loser. But it's how the parents react in these situations that I think determines where these kids end up,
Fazell says, my dad beat me more times than I have hairs on my head, and I admire his actions. May God rest his soul. Life isn't about what happens to you. It's about how you interpret it. Doug MPA, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Shiv said parents. Unfortunately, in this situation, it's parent.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, there's only one parent because, hey, you know, I can ask the question we've all want to ask it. And that whole story, where's the father at? I guarantee you he was a Pookie, a Ray Ray, or a Nug Nug. And, you know, he's not involved in his life. And that's why he's out there at some protests throwing bricks at people.
Right, but we saw even with the track girl. I mean, she had both parents in the house, but basically it was like a single mother household because the dad is beta white knight checked out. Like, so it's you can see two-parent household.
Yeah, who's better off is the question though. The mother that like the single mom who actually disciplines her kid, or the dad who just listens to his wife.
In this case, I think the single mother I give her a dub. Honestly, I give her a dub for like. Also not go. She could have gone on the news and really humiliated her son. She was very even keel about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never gonna give a single mother a dub ever.
I'm comparing the two. I'm not saying it in general. I'm saying comparing to the.
Out of principle, you may be right. I may agree with you, but I can't do it out of principle. Guys, avoid single mothers at all costs. Don't sleep with them. Don't date them. Don't marry them. Do not play another man's save game. Don't do it.
Doug MPA,
it's not your responsibility.
You know they're going to do it anyway. Come on. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for commenting. Do you have any final thoughts on the story?
Yeah, all these women act tough, but when the going gets tough, they start crying, and their fake eyelashes get all wet. You know, tears get on that weave, and then makeup starts to run. Guys, all these women, they know that it doesn't matter what happens, that they can resort to crying and try to get sympathy. So if a woman's acting all tough and trying to, you know, throw hands and yell and scream, there's going to be a time where she's going to just get back to what women always do, start crying and looking for sympathy.
Yeah. You got any final thoughts, Shiv?
All of us are going to fuck up and make huge mistakes in our life. Take 100% accountability. When you screw up, don't try to justify it. Even if there is a justification, just take the L. I think people need to learn when to be alpha, when to take the W, but also when you have to be the beta and take the L and just put your head down, have a somber face, apologize profusely, and then you can move on with your life. But if you try to do this half in, half out apology, they're never going to let you forget it. So that's my advice.
Yeah.
And also, genuine apologies are so rare and few and far between that when you give one, it's impactful.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. Well, maybe she'll see this. That's our 2 cents. I doubt she'll take the advice, but you never know. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. And please go to theaudacitynetwork.com. The link is in the description. If you want to support the show, this helps us be YouTube free. We have a censor-free chat on the website. And also, you're going to get first access to our documentary and our new behind-the-scenes content that we're going to start putting out in the next month. And also, you get to talk to the smart, intelligent men that I know, and they tell you how to make more money and just different things that they've learned throughout the years. Like the video on your way out, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys back again tomorrow. Bye-bye.